Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani and today I have a fragrance video for you guys. Now I am someone who absolutely loves perfumes. I wear multiple perfumes a day. Sometimes I wear perfume to bed, so yeah, I'm one of those girls. I just love to smell amazing at all times of the day. I think that fragrance is a perfect way to express yourself, to represent your mood and your different vibes for the day. So today we are going to be talking about the top fragrances for a first date. Now, with this video, I am considering that this is the first time you're meeting someone, so I stayed away from anything that was offensive or a bit polarizing or too harsh or too bold or too out there. So these are definitely safe scents. You're gonna be playing it safe here. There's nothing that's like crazy in your face. You know, a really unique scent that might be a little bit not too nice for some people. I definitely had in mind like fragrances that would work across the board for all women, all ages, and I will be specific and let you guys know if it's best suited for a daytime date or a nighttime date. I will be giving you guys kind of the vibes that the fragrance gives me, and I hope to make many more of these videos in the future. So let me know if you like this style of video, and definitely make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up and a comment before you leave. So this is the first fragrance. It's Montblanc Signature. And I would describe the smell exactly how the bottle looks. So as you guys can see, there's this beautiful gold star in the top, and the bottle itself is this beautiful white geometric kind of shape. Now, this scent is classified as an amber floral, and it's definitely a scent that gives off this beautiful, elevated, kind of lotion vibe. You know, sometimes when you wear a lotion and it has this just beautiful, plush, soft, suave feel, this is exactly what I get from this fragrance. This is a very angelic, beautiful, pretty scent. It kind of has this powdery, elevated, floral, musky vibe to it. Okay? Absolutely amazing, absolutely dreamy. It's angelic, it's pure, it's innocent. I see someone wearing this who is quite just youthful and innocent and very pure, not someone who's super edgy or bold. This is definitely like playing it safe. And let's talk about the notes in here. So at the top we have clementine, which is actually a type of mandarin orange. Now this gives the fragrance a subtle fruity note. However, it's really fuzzy. I know that sounds weird, but fragrances can be like smooth or fuzzy or rough around the edges. This one is definitely soft and fuzzy. That's how I would describe it. If this fragrance was an object, it would be a white, plush, suede blanket. Literally, that's what I get from this. If it was a person, it would be like an angelic lady. In the mid notes, we have some florals. We have magnolia, we have peony, and we have ylang-ylang. So this definitely gives some depth to the perfume. Not only is it fruity, but it has this floral touch. And then in the dry down, in the base, we have amber and we have musk, as well as some benzoin. Now, benzoin is basically kind of another play on vanilla. It kind of has more of a balsamic touch, but overall, this fragrance is such a safe fragrance. As long as you're okay with a little bit of powderiness and just this soft, suave feeling, this is amazing. This is definitely a spring, summertime fragrance, but it's also applicable for all year round. I mean, personally, I like to wear more complex, deeper, darker scents in the colder months, but for someone who kind of just likes playing it safe, this is a great signature scent all year round, and especially on a date. This has such a ladylike, feminine vibe to it, and I don't hear many people talking about it whatsoever. It is just beautiful. It's definitely one that I can't even see anyone disliking, and I definitely wouldn't see anyone hating it. Like, this is a great pick for a date. I recommend this for a daytime date. It could even be a nighttime date, but I definitely see this more as a spring, summertime, daytime, brunch or lunch sort of date. My next pick for number 2 is Kayali Deja Vu White Flower 57. Now 57 represents the number of times they actually changed this fragrance before they were satisfied with the juice and with the scent. Now it comes in this absolutely stunner bottle. It really kind of has that Chanel vibe with the very, very classic clear bottle. You can see through it. You can see how much juice you have left. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. The bottle really kind of gives you an idea for what it's going to smell like, which is very classy, sophisticated, elegant. And then there is this crystal cap, which is just so beautiful. Overall, this is a stunning, mass appealing fragrance. So let's talk about some of the notes. So this fragrance is classified as an amber floral fragrance. And what I love about it is it is truly timeless. Like, I see a 25-year-old wearing this, and I also see a 65-year-old woman wearing this. It is one of those scents that is universal, all ages, all times of the year, really for any occasion. This is just amazing. The other thing I'd like to mention is I know that I have a little mini bottle here. I would love to get the full size bottle. If you guys don't know, I have around 40 fragrances, so right now getting the biggest bottle just doesn't make sense. I'd prefer to try as many fragrances as possible than to just hoard really big bottles. So you're gonna see most of my bottles are the small bottles. So in the top notes, we have gardenia, nectarine, and pear. This gives the fragrance a very fruity, juicy, floral, sweet touch right off the top, okay? Let's spray it. Absolutely intoxicating. It is so feminine. It is so uplifting. It's one of those happy fragrances for sure. And it's really elegant and sophisticated and timeless. Once we move into the mid notes, you're gonna get some more florals. So there is tuberose, we have jasmine, and I think there is orange blossom as well. So that definitely gives some more depth to the fragrance. I know some people really dislike tuberose because it can kind of have this green or dirty touch. This fragrance is acceptable even for those who dislike tuberose. I'm someone who even is a little bit iffy with tuberose, but this tuberose is absolutely beautiful. It is not overly dirty, or it's definitely not animalic in any way. I think it actually gives the fragrance some complexity. And then in the base, you're left with, I believe, vanilla, cashmere wood, sandalwood, something along those lines. I know there's definitely a woody touch here, and I think there is sandalwood because this is a very creamy fragrance. Overall, I think that this is a wonderful fragrance. I know that my partner loves this fragrance. Every time I wear it, he gives me a compliment. I know men really, really like this fragrance, and I think women tend to like this fragrance across the board as well. I'm meaning to try the other Kayali fragrances. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you guys are familiar with Kayali, if you've smelled their other fragrances. To be completely honest, this is the only Kayali fragrance I've smelled, but I am interested in the elixir, and I know so many people talk about the vanilla, even though I'm not a huge vanilla lover, so I am curious to know what you guys think about those. Now this is fragrance number 3. This is Classique Essence Eau de Parfum by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Now look at this bottle. Look at that. Like, wow, that is the definition of a silhouette, curvy, just amazing figure. And the juice is also beautiful. I tend to love kind of these darker juices. And we also have the Jean-Paul Gaultier branding. This piece right here actually protects the fragrance from being sprayed. So as you can see, you cannot spray it until you remove this piece, and now you can spray as you please. This fragrance is literally an orange cream soda dream. That's how I would describe it. Let's talk about some of the notes in this fragrance. Now, right off the top, you have ginger, aldehydes, and tangerine. That gives this fragrance such a citrusy, zesty, yet spicy opening, and it really does turn heads. Now, out of all of the fragrances I'm mentioning today, I would say this is one of the best when it comes to performance, when it comes to longevity, how long it lasts, and also in terms of projection, like how far away someone is in order to smell you. Like this one, you could probably smell from across the room, especially if you're spraying it on your clothes. I know some people are kind of against spraying onto skin because it does cause premature aging, but this fragrance is once again like an orange cream soda dream. I describe it as being fizzy. It kind of does have this kind of tingling sort of nature. And it's very upbeat, it's very lively. Once again, this is a happy fragrance. It definitely makes me smile every time I spray it. Now in the middle, once again, we have jasmine and orange blossom. As you guys can see, there's kind of a trend with my fragrances. I love my florals, I love my fruity notes, and I just love something that's balanced, something that has a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy, a little bit of woody. I'm not someone who just likes overly sweet or overly woody fragrances. I really like my fragrances to be complex, to have some dimensions, but to really balance everything out in the end. Now the base of this perfume is really what makes it come to life, at least for me. The base is just stunning. So once this dries down, you're left with vanilla, you're left with cashmere wood once again, which was in the Kayali fragrance. You're also left with benzoin, and you're left with whipped cream. Now that whipped cream gives it such a sweet, gourmand, addictive, creamy kind of finish. It is just truly addictive. Let me just say that although this fragrance does kind of have this like sweet, edible, gourmand touch to it, because of the ginger and kind of like the tanginess and the spice, it really does balance it out. So you're not left with something like Viva La Juicy Couture, right? It's not overly edible or overly gourmand. It really is this perfect balance of being fruity, floral, even a little bit citrusy and kind of clean smelling. Like this does give me a little bit of a soapy vibe. Definitely nothing too extreme, like it doesn't smell like a shampoo, but it gives me like a clean vibe. Like this is something that I would say is appropriate to spray fresh out of the shower. Keep that in mind. It is a beast mode fragrance. It's not one of those fragrances that you just spritz on like a body spray. Like this is going to last you all freaking day. And I just want to let you know that I did purchase Saffinade by Parfums de Marly, which I love Parfums de Marly, and you'll see I'm featuring one of their fragrances in this video. However, I tried Saffinade by them, and this fragrance and Saffinade are known to kind of be similar in a sense, especially because of the orange blossom in here. And you guys, I preferred this fragrance to Saffinade. Keep in mind, Saffinade retails for like $300, and this baby is like under $100 for sure. So I was actually really happy that my nose preferred this one over Saffinade. I ended up returning that one, and I'm so glad that I found this one instead. Also, funny enough, even though Saffinade did have a bigger price tag, I do believe that this perfume performs better. Once again, in terms of longevity and in terms of projection, this one definitely won the race with Saffinade. So this is why this stayed in my collection and Saffinade did not, unfortunately. Next, we have a true stunner. Now, Parfums de Marly definitely don't skimp out with their bottles. They have some of the highest quality bottles, in my opinion. You could see they have their name right here, Parfums de Marly Paris, and each of their bottles even come with a Swarovski gem right here on the top. Athalia's is a black color complementing the bottle, and each Parfum de Marly fragrance has a different color Swarovski on the top. They also all come with kind of these tassels, which is so cute, and just this beautiful like Baroque design on the bottle. You guys, this perfume is heavy. You can feel how expensive it is just by looking at it, and it is worth every penny. So let's talk about this fragrance. Now, this is an iris forward fragrance. By that, I mean the most dominant note you're gonna get in here is iris. Now, if you're unfamiliar with iris tends to kind of have this powdery, makeup, lipsticky kind of scent. So if you like the smell of lipsticks and makeup and kind of that super feminine scent, you will love this. Now, this is a very, very feminine fragrance. It is advertised as unisex, but I personally believe it leans feminine, although I believe fragrances can be worn by anyone. I personally have fragrances that are men's fragrances, and they're advertised to men, but I honestly feel comfortable and confident wearing them. So always do your own research. Smell it yourself, smell it on your skin, on your clothes, and you decide what you like, because once again, I have some men's fragrances, I have unisex fragrances, and I have feminine fragrances. And I think that perfume is just very unique. It's really much an individual choice, and it really comes down to our skin chemistry as well. So let's talk about some of the notes here. We already mentioned that iris was most prominent. However, there are a few other notes. Now, in terms of when I would recommend this fragrance, I think it's appropriate all year round. I would say I would prefer this for a night out, probably like a dinner date or something later on in the day. That's not to say it couldn't be worn during the day. That's completely fine, but I think there are a lot of other fragrances that'd be more suitable for the daytime. Definitely, I would keep this for like a seductive night out at a nice restaurant when you're dressed classy in the best attire. That's when I would pull out Athalia. Now, this fragrance is not cheap whatsoever. It is definitely expensive. It's one of the most expensive perfumes in my collection, but there's obviously a reason I'm mentioning it, especially in this first date video, and it's because this is extremely feminine. Like, guys go nuts for this. Like, my partner actually purchased this for me for Valentine's Day, and the minute I wore it, he was in love with it. This is, once again, a timeless fragrance, very similar to Kayali, not in the way they smell, but in the way that any age woman would be appropriate in this. Like, I swear, I could see a grandma rocking this, but I could see a 20-year-old rocking it as well. And it's because it has this universal, powdery, feminine touch to it. As you guys can see by now, I'm a huge fan of powdery fragrances, so just keep that in mind when I'm describing these to you. If you tend to gravitate away from powdery fragrances, then this one is probably not one to check out. But I will say this is a pretty hard fragrance to describe. I'm gonna spray it. It literally smells like the most luxurious makeup lipstick you could own. I know it sounds kind of odd, like why would you spend all this money to get a lipstick smelling fragrance, but it is one of those scents that you really just kind of have to smell to understand the beauty and the complexity to it. So I highly, highly recommend you guys to get your nose on this. You can sniff this at most Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth Avenue, and I think Neiman Marcus. So make sure to check out Athalia by Parfum de Marly. So this is the beautiful bottle that Athalia comes in. It is just absolutely stunning, you guys. Like, this brand really pays attention to details. They pay attention to everything. Even the bottle sits in this beautiful suede kind of pillow, and all their bottles have a different color, but they're all in the same kind of shape. And let me just say, Parfum de Marly is one of my favorite perfume brands. I know I mentioned that Saffinade did not work for me. That's not to say that it wouldn't work for you. I really do think that you need to test fragrances out yourself to make the final call. But this is just one of my favorite fragrances that I own across the board. So definitely check out Athalia. Last but not least, we have one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and that is Ambre Nuit by Christian Dior. This is a part of their private blend collection, and let me just say, this is a stunner. Like, if I had to pick top 5, top 10 fragrances for life, this would definitely be on the list. This is sensual, this is seductive, this is powerful, this is complex, this is definitely more deep, and it's definitely darker than the previous perfumes that I've mentioned. This one is unisex, and I would say that it actually leans completely unisex. Some people say it's a little bit more feminine, but I honestly could see a man rocking this just as much as I see a girl rocking this. Now, the color of the juice is kind of indicative of what you get from the scent. This is like a beautiful, beautiful mix of just 2 notes, surprisingly, amber and rose, yet you get so much more complexity from this. I honestly get like a boozy kind of rum vibe when I spray this. I know there's no like alcohol listed in the notes, but it does kind of give me that like boozy, kind of dark, complex, smoky sort of vibe. But overall, the main notes are rose and amber. It's actually quite funny because although there are only 2 notes in this fragrance compared to the ones I showed you today that had like 5, 10 notes, this is the most complex out of all the fragrances I showed you today. It is definitely sultry, sensual, boozy. It kind of has a fizzy touch in that it's like bubbly. Like, you know, kind of how champagne has those bubbles. I see this as like an amber rose alcoholic drink that's like fizzy and sparkly. I know it's kind of a weird description, but you would just have to smell it to know what I'm talking about. So, oh my gosh, like, oh my God. I cannot get enough of this fragrance, you guys, whether it's me who's wearing it or sometimes I sneak it and I spray it on my partner. Like, this just smells magnificent. I recommend this all year round, but especially for fall and winter and the colder months. I would say this is kind of like a fall fragrance in a nutshell. Like, if I had to choose one season, it would be fall, because this kind of gives those like autumn vibes. It's like cozy and warm. This is definitely a warm fragrance. It's not cold whatsoever. This warms up on your skin. It makes you feel just enveloped in this beautiful like amber rose combination. You guys, it is completely addictive, intoxicating. If you want a lot of compliments, try out Ambre Nuit. This projects like crazy. It lasts all day long, especially on clothes. It will last so long. Like, you might even put a sweater away and then a few days later come out and the smell is still radiating on that sweatshirt. So I highly, highly recommend you guys to check out Ambre Nuit. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I don't say that lightly. I truly believe that this is a masterpiece of a fragrance. I'm not just saying that. This is a masterpiece in my eyes and in my humble nose opinion. I actually wore this on National Fragrance Day because, once again, this is just one of my top favorites. It's something that I always go back to. I mean, let's say I'm going on a vacation, I always grab this one first and then I decide what other fragrances I want to bring. But like, this is my ride or die. I love having the small bottle because I can actually fit it in my purse and take it with me, but I do want to invest in a big bottle moving forward. Alright, so that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely make sure to try these out and sample them before you just go and splurge. I do not recommend blind buying, even though I'm guilty of doing it way too often. I'd love if you guys were to comment down below your favorite fragrances and maybe some fragrance that you like wearing on a first date. I'd love to hear some of your guys' opinions, and I really do hope to make more of these videos in the future. I'm a perfume fanatic and I love to share my perfume and thoughts with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye!